We get multiple updates surrounding the Detroit Pistons heading into their next game as J.B Bickerstaff gives key updates on injured players heading into a crucial game as they look to continue their win streak after coming off a 4-game slide. And this has serious implications for multiple players, including Kevin Huerter, within this lineup as they look to not only get out of their slump but make a serious impact to get higher in this rotation. We're going to break down everything you need to know, from quotes from J.B Bickerstaff, updates on players that will be missing this game, and how the star players in Cade Cunningham and Jalen Duren can go out and make a major statement versus a dismantled Eastern Conference team. We're going to break down all of that and so much more in this episode. Before we get into that, I want to give a huge shout out to everyone watching. We're trying to reach our goal of 3,000 subscribers. So if you're part of the 86.5% watching this and you haven't hit the sub button yet, but you want to stay up to date on everything to do around the Pistons, not only in the regular season, but heading into the playoffs with game updates, injury reports, anything you can think of, make sure to hit that free subscribe button. It means the world, and in return, we'll continue giving you guys daily updates around the team. But with that, let's just dive straight into where we know the Detroit Pistons were on a 4-game losing streak, just to break it, versus the Nets just last game. But looking at this and the quote coming from J.B Bickerstaff, which I truly did like a lot. This is a coach that believed in this team, was not worried about the slide. We did what we were supposed to do. It's that simple. The guys have done the same thing all year long, stuck to the script, stayed together, and it was going to turn for us eventually. Now looking at this, of course, the three-point shooting has been the biggest concern around this team, but I love that the coach is not looking at this and saying, hey, we're out of it. We know that we can't get out of this slump. We know J.B Bickerstaff believes in this group. We believe in this group. And the biggest thing is the players do as well. Now, diving into this, of course, the biggest thing around the Pistons and the schedule is coming off the big win versus the Nets. Not a very good team, but a respectable team with a lot of young talent within the organization. But we don't really care about that. The biggest thing we care about is, of course, the Pistons pushing and winning games. Now, diving into this with the game schedule, we know there's going to be a lot of updates around this team. Ausar Thompson, right ankle sprain, will miss his 4th straight game tomorrow versus the Sixers. Caris LeVert is doubtful, and Chaz Lanier is questionable. Now, the big thing is, and if you can see at the bottom, Joel Embiid, Tyrese Maxey, Paul George, and Kelly Oubre are all out for Philly. Now, diving into the players, of course, that are going to miss this game, Caris LeVert is Caris LeVert, but diving into Ausar Thompson, the 4th game where we see no timeline for the forward, a huge part of this organization, not only on the end of its starter, but what he brings game after game. Of course, I'll dive into a game because the numbers are insane. 99th percentile when it comes to steals across the NBA, 1.9, ranked 8th across the entire league. Blocks, 90 percentile, 57th percent. And even diving into just the numbers of what he brings to the table, this hurts not to have in the organization. The defensive game has slid a bit. Of course, the Pistons are a very good defensive team, but when trying to replace a guy that's 8th in steals in the entire league, and of course sitting 82nd percentile across the NBA when it comes to defensive rating, 88th in offense, which is honestly a awesome thing to see. Of course, players are going to have to step up. Now, we're going to touch on 2 guys in particular that really need to take this next step. A lot of the videos I've been doing recently is talking about how the Pistons have such a deep bench, and having these guys out of the lineup right now gives them the option to get these guys farther in. Marcus Sasser, a guy that jumped into the starting lineup in their last win versus the Nets, is a guy I'm looking at to take the next step when pushing farther in on the schedule with, of course, Ausar Thompson, Caris LeVert, and other guys out. Now, diving farther into this, of course, with Caris LeVert out, this gives you the opportunity for Kevin Huerter to start to get some meaningful minutes. Now, the big thing with Kevin Huerter, and one thing that's the biggest struggle with him at the moment, which no one thought they would say just last season, is the fact that Kevin Huerter is struggling to shoot. When looking at the numbers across this season, 11 points, 4 rebounds, just about 3 assists, 2.5, 45.5% field goal percentage, but 31.4 from 3-point percentage. Kevin Huerter was a guy that was once regarded as one of the best shooters across the NBA. Now, looking at Huerter since joining this team, hitting a couple threes here and there, but his excellence hasn't came from the perimeter. We've seen him with Chicago as well to struggle this season as well. This is a guy that could get into the groove. Now, from the left corner, shooting about league average, 38.5% from the right corner, 32 from above the break three, 28%. What is happening to Kevin Huerter is a little surprising, but heading into a game where you're going to see some guys shift up. Marcus Sasser is going to jump up. Dennis Jenkins, of course, going to be the backup ball handler and having a good bounce back. I would like to see Kevin Huerter at least use this game to get more minutes. J.B. Bickerstaff will be the dictator of that, but when looking at the 76ers team without Paul George, of course, they're going in without Joel Embiid. We're going to touch on the center rotation for them as well. Tyrese Maxey and Kelly Oubre, not only do the Pistons have that opportunity to go out and make a statement. We know with this team, they're dealing with injuries on their own, but at the end of the day, you're missing three of their starting players. Of course, VJ Edgecombe will still be playing, but this gives them the opportunity to not only go out and use Kevin Huerter in full effect, to go out and try to put up those numbers, get the shooting back. If you take a huge lead, Cade Cunningham can come out of this game. You don't have to run him the entirety of the game. Use the bench unit to really try to get some confidence back in this player. Now, diving into Kevin Huerter, of course, a guy, once again, that has been struggling a bit this season. Offensive and defensive rating has dropped a tiny bit, but the big thing with Kevin Huerter, of course, is the place is high, the turnover to assist ratio is high as well. This is a guy that has the opportunities to go out and put that big game on. And the same goes for Marcus Sasser, who started for the Pistons and had an incredible 20 minutes when he last played. Now, the big thing is with that bench unit, we've talked about it a bunch, with Dennis Jenkins struggling. This was the team that didn't really have that backup guy to take the load off Cade, which led to Cade playing more minutes. And of course, Cade playing more minutes leads to him getting drained. But looking at Marcus Sasser, a guy that's shooting 43% from three this year, 60.3 true shooting. He's starting to put those numbers up again. Looking at the percentiles, ranked 35th across the NBA when it comes to three-point percentage. With a team that's struggling, it feels like a no-brainer to get him into this lineup to get more minutes, especially with the shooting splits. I am big on Marcus Sasser. And a big truther on getting him further into this lineup. Of course, he's not going to be a guy that's going to start in game one of the playoffs, but he's a guy that adds a valuable role. And I think J.B. Bickerstaff is finally seeing this, especially heading into the game. We know exactly what's going to happen. Every eye is going to be on the defensive end, of course, on Cade Cunningham between VJ Edgecombe and Campaign. But with him getting his work done, this could be a game, and I should knock on wood, because we've seen the game before with the Nets, where they did blow that lead. But with this team going through, you get the option to rest these guys hopefully early. Looking at Cade, of course, matched up with this, there's no hate to Campaign or VJ Edgecombe, but this is a team that's going to have to try to contain Cade. We've seen the 25 and 15 game, 20 and 15, whatever it was, the incredible game that Cade puts up. You almost lose track of the numbers because look at him on the screen. All of his games are insane. 25, 6, and 10, sitting ranked second in the NBA when it comes to assists, 100 percentile. This is a guy that, of course, is the star player. There's no dispute on that. His defensive game, underrated across the NBA. And in our eyes, of course, the MVP of the league coming up. But with Cade Cunningham getting out early and looking at the rotation, I'm excited to see. And with the bigs on the 76ers, Joel Embiid out, Bona's injured, and Drummond is dealing with stuff as well. This gives Jalen Duren a lot of room to go out, put his numbers up, maybe push even farther into the MIP race. And it's exciting to see maybe Beef Stew get more minutes going through, get himself implemented back into this lineup. Paul Reed as well. Isaac Jones might get some burn. But fans, at the end of the day, what is your thoughts on this Pistons team? Of course, they ended that losing streak. J.B. Bickerstaff spoke on it, and it was awesome to see. Fans were a bit worried, of course. The shooting is always a worry. But at the end of the day, this is a team that is in the position they are because of the players. They rally together. They're brothers. I don't think there's a closer team in the NBA. When looking across, of course, a lot of these teams have been together for quite some time, but what the Pistons have went through, what they've dealt with, and what they've grown to be together, we can see the leads on the Boston Celtics, on the Knicks, the Cavs, the Magic, the Heat. No one expected, of course, we understood how good this team was, but no one expected them to be in the position they are. And it's going to keep growing game after game as they look, of course, to conquer and go out to get exactly what they want in a championship for the city of Detroit. But let us know your thoughts down in the comments. What's your thoughts on this team heading in? Who do you think is going to be the star player heading into this game? Of course, Cade Cunningham, but does someone in the bench like Kevin Huerter take that next step in a game like this if they can take the lead early? Let me know your thoughts down in the comments. But I've been your host, Mark Pye, and go Detroit basketball.